And this is fun. I actually have no clue what Sips of Sanity is about this month. You've totally prepared and taken over, so hit me.
Okay. What I've done is, after asking the spirit guides,
Of course.
and what's going on Earth, I think this is a good one, in that the guides asked us to take a look at what we believe. And I said, I think people find it difficult to know what they believe. They just act the way they do. So they said, well, why don't you write down a couple of questions? So I did. I wrote down, what do you believe? So that's how we're going to do the series. So the first question we're going to answer is, what do you believe? The second one is, how do you know that you believe that? And then we're going to follow that up with the example so that people can understand, oh, this is how she got the belief, and this is how this happened. This is how it's playing out in my life. And then what I did after that was I said to the guides, where do we go with that? And they said, why don't you write down what is the truth? So there are 3 questions in all 5 of these shows. And then I said to the guides, what do you want me to do with it? And they said, pick it in different areas. So like you and I have done in the past, pick one where it's with partners, another one where it's with maybe the self or in a work environment, a social belief system. So I've tried to pick different ones. What?
This is really funny. I had 3 channeling clients yesterday, and
Oh, I know.
all of the topics was about this.
Oh, I know you. I had already written all of this.
You were on the deck doing it.
I was on the deck doing all of this and chatting with the spirit guides and Karen. So, as people are listening to the shows or cluing in, Karen is a best friend of mine for the last 13 years who just died a couple of months ago. And she wants to work with us. So, because she loved what we do, but she just couldn't wrap her head around it all the time. But she's on the other side. So now she came on the deck. She sat down and she goes, what the hell are you doing? I said, I'm doing Sips of Sanity. And she goes, yeah, but I'm your coworker and you didn't tell me. So I thought, oh, this is really funny. She had a pair of shorts on, like Bermuda shorts, like long to the knee, which I'd call like a golfing short kind of a thing. She had almost like a golf kind of shirt on for a woman, like with a little bit of a collar and buttons at the top. And she had a ball cap on. And Karen lived in another city for 10 years, or not 10, pardon me, maybe 6. And I hadn't seen her. So I didn't know that she wore those, or I had never seen her in one. And so I texted her daughter, Kate, and I said, Kate, did your mom wear hats and ball caps? And she texts back a picture of Karen in this outfit with a blue ball cap on. And I'm like, oh, she's standing on my deck in that outfit.
Pissed that you didn't tell her that you had a business meeting with the guides.
Didn't tell her. She was out on a golf course somewhere. And I just thought, oh my God, that's so funny. So anyway, I hope that when people listen to this, they see that my best friend is still my best friend and that she's working on all of these series and everybody's going to hear Karen's name.
And you're not talking in third person.
Right. And yeah, I don't know if I'm supposed to say Karen M and I called her my DBB. No, my DBF, my dead best friend. Anyway, she's my DBF. So she helped me write the show and we're going to go with the first one. Okay. So the very first one that I tackled was, I don't deserve and cannot meet my own needs. And so how do I know that? Well, the first example here that came for me was growing up. And this one has to do with some of my own stuff. So I'm just going to use my own example here. And hopefully other people can relate to it or at least have some empathy when they're hearing it. But when I was young, I remember being sick. And I remember laying down on the couch. So I'm coming home from school and at different ages, and my parents both worked. So I would lay on the couch and maybe I had the flu, a cold, fatigue, maybe chills, aches and pains. And I recall my dad coming in the door on many occasions. And whenever I was sick, I don't just mean on one occasion. And if he saw me laying down in bed or on the couch, he went into anger. And he would say, "Don't be lazy. Get up off the couch. You're homesick. You could at least vacuum. You could at least get supper ready. You could at least set the table. And he'd give me a list I knew I had to do before they came home or even as they got home from work. But my belief that came from that was that I wasn't allowed to be sick. I wasn't allowed to take care of myself when I was. I had to make sure that if anybody else had any needs or wants, that I had to know what those were, because he never called me earlier in the day and said, "Hey, you're homesick. Are you capable, or is it that bad, or how are you feeling? Could you put something on the stove? Could you take something out of the freezer?" It was not asked, and it was never said in a proper timing. He waited till he got home and then shit on me instead of telling me what his expectations were earlier in the day. So I grew up to believe that being sick was something where other people were going to be angry with me when I got sick. So can you imagine how you go through life if somebody else says they have a cold or they have the flu? How terrified you are to be around sick people because you feel, "Oh my God, I can't get sick or I'm going to make the people around me angry."
Yeah, and I'm assuming this is feeding back to your belief of I don't deserve either to have time off to be sick.
Yeah.
I don't deserve to rest.
That's
I don't
correct.
deserve to take care of myself.
Yes.
Therefore, I can't meet my own needs.
Yes.